Joining me now to discuss is Cliff Albright, co-founder of Black Voters Matter. Cliff.
Great to be here.
So, what do you make of people keep trying to deflect and take credit for the leadership of what happened in Georgia other than black people leading that?
Yeah, you know, sometimes you hear quotes from folks and you're not really sure about whether it should just be comical or whether you should be angry about it. And that's kind of the way I felt where I heard Andrew Yang's remark. I mean, and like you said, it's part of a pattern, right, of people trying to either take credit for or to just minimize black turnout. And we saw this immediately after both the general election as well as after the runoff elections. You had all kinds of articles, some in some big publications, national newspapers, basically trying to give credit to white folks who live in the suburbs, right? Folks not understanding that a lot of Atlanta suburbs are largely black and brown folks. But beyond that, just trying to find any way they could to give credit to white folks for having found Jesus and saved the state of Georgia and having saved the country. And this has real consequences, because what it does is when you don't accurately acknowledge who it is that risked their lives and came out in large numbers, historic numbers, it shapes your thinking about future elections. It shapes your investment in communities for future elections. And it can lead to some strategies that basically have been part of what's gotten us in the trouble that we're in, or that we've been in over the past 4 years.
Now Yang tried to, walk this back just a little bit, say, of course, we can contribute. What is his quote? He says, okay, is it okay for other people to contribute to their success, meaning the people who did the organizing? I get that. I'm not trying to beat up on this guy, but I'm just, he understands the implication of what he was saying. Now, don't try to play dumb.
Right.
When you say I helped, that means I played a major leading role in doing this thing that happened in Georgia. That is not, I voted, I wrote a big check, I went down there, I stayed in a hotel for a while and raised a little money. You're saying something else, and we understand what you're saying when you say that, so cut that out, right? But what? But how do you take his trying to walk it back and trying to thread that needle?
Yeah, I mean, I spoke to a friend in the AAPI community, which, by the way, his remarks, not only was it disrespectful, at best tone deaf, right, towards minimizing the role that black voters play, and again, in particular, the leadership of black women, but not only was it disrespectful in that sense, even his phrasing, right, that I helped do this, he doesn't even acknowledge that there are Asian American AAPI organizations that have been grinding for years, for a decade, to increase the AAPI vote. And so, he gave his remarks absent of even that effort. So he was really being disrespectful to different populations. But at the end of the day, he came and stayed here for, I think, about a week. If I had $1 for everybody that came here during the Georgia runoff and stayed for about a week, folks that came in and volunteered from all different parts of the country, if I had $1 for every person that did that, and we value that, right? And we're thankful for that. But that's a lot of people that he falls in line with, that he's in the same category with, to try to paint what he did, especially in the midst of a debate as he's running for mayor, to try to paint and to embellish his role in helping in the Georgia election. I mean, again, it's almost comical. Yeah.
He was only in Georgia for a week? On Twitter, he said, me and my wife are moving to Georgia. Did he say that? I
don't know if he. I don't know if he actually moved there. If they did, it was a short-term Airbnb or something. But whatever the length of time was, it was not a significant amount of time for him to be going around trying to take credit for saving the state of Georgia and saving the Senate and saving the country. I wouldn't give that credit to any single. I was going to say I wouldn't give that credit to any single.
This question in.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What happens to all this black participation and what happened in 2020 now that the state legislature has changed so many of the laws trying to restrict voter participation and also shifting the power to certify the vote from the Secretary of State down to county boards?
Right. I mean, A couple of things. One, we've not given up the battle. We're still organizing. We still believe that, if we organize and educate and get corporations to be accountable, there's never been a bill passed that can't be unpassed, right? So we're still fighting to repeal SB 202. But at the end of the day, even if it's not repealed, what we're going to do is the same thing that we did last year. We're going to outwork them. We're going to out-organize them. A lot of people asked, after 2018, when that election was stolen, they said, well, how are y'all going to come back? How are you going to get black folks to come back out and to believe? And we showed them how we were going to do it. And that's what happened last year. So at the end of the day, that provision, though, of allowing them to, and this is why I was saying this for the past 2 months, that one provision of the bill, which allows them to take over the state election board and also gives them the power to disband county level boards, of all the provisions, whether it's the vote by mail, whether it's the criminalizing giving out food and water, of all the provisions, that one provision is the most dangerous, because what it means is even if we come back and outwork them, even if we come back and outwork them and out-organize, because if we get more votes, they can still come in and do exactly what Trump was trying to get the Secretary of State to do, which is, hey, Roethlisberger, go find me 11,900 votes. If they're able to disband these county boards of election, even if we did the work and got more votes, they can try to disqualify or get rid of certain counties. They could just get rid of one county, and getting rid of one county would have changed the course of this election. That's why that provision is the most dangerous in that bill.
Cliff Albright, thank you so much, sir, for joining me tonight. Really appreciate it.